Hello everyone and welcome. If you're new here, my name is Maddie and I'm gardening in New York City, and today I am starting my Ranunculus Corms. Ranunculus are a very beautiful spring flower and they like to be started really early because they do better if they actually get planted in the garden while it's still cold outside, so they can get established on those cool conditions. They'll flower much earlier too if you plant them at the right time. Last year I started mine by I think mid-January or beginning of February, and they did well, but it was already starting to get very hot when they started to flower. So this year I wanted to put them out even earlier since I have learned that they are even more cold hardy than I thought. So I'm starting them today. The corms that I have here are actually corms that I saved from my own garden, so they still need to be a bit cleaned. I'm gonna take some out of the bag in here to show you, but I dug them up last year, left them out to dry. I cleaned them a bit and I put them in this bag. So this here has two corms together. I can see. I will try to separate in a minute. They're not the prettiest thing. Some people say they look like little octopus. Even though they look like this right now, they turn into a very beautiful flower later. So we are going to first soak them. They need to be pre-soaked before we start the pre-sprouting process. After I take a look at all of them in here, we're going to put them in water and wait 3 to 4 hours, and once they're nice and plump, we're going to put them in soil to start pre-sprouting them. So first let's see how these guys are all looking. I'm going to use this to soak them in a minute, but first I'm going to put them all on this tray here and I'm going to clean them up a little better. I don't even know how many corms I got it last year. I just threw a bunch of them in here. I have a lot of tags, I guess, in here. I'm going to remove those because I'm just going to grow them as a mix. I'm not going to grow them divided by color. It's going to be a little too hard. But so this is the first batch and I separated. So I think those ones here, oh yeah, they're much bigger corms on this side, and also these ones I didn't clean as well. You can see why I put in different bags now. I did not remember. But we're going to do that together in case you also save your own corms. And we're going to see how these are looking after they're all cleaned up. So as you can see, I still have lots of roots in here. I want to trim all of these up. I want to trim the little pieces of the roots. I don't really know if I want to break them up because those look very small, even though they are in their second year. So I'll probably leave this one as is. If I find some bigger ones that need to be divided, I will. I guess for those guys, I'm just gonna let them grow together maybe. I don't know what you guys think. I wish you guys were here to talk to me, so help me make a decision. But they look so tiny, I think I'm okay. This looks a lot smaller than this, so maybe, actually, I should break down this one. Let's see, just so we can break down together and see how two of them look. So, oops, that didn't really work. Oh yeah, it's coming out apart. Nice. So the top of this broke, but then it's fine because it looks more like when you get them from a store. So that's fine. Now we have two. Maybe I should I should cut these off too. Oops, there you go. So I've got two corms in here. So all of those little ones in here, they're looking okay. Lots of them have two. I now can't resist the urge to break them because it's so cool to separate. But this one is a little bit bigger. Oh, they're kind of small, but hopefully they'll still grow. Very tiny. Now they look like little octopuses for sure. And I did not do a great job taking a lot of the other roots out, but by the time this came out of the garden, I was a bit overwhelmed. There was a lot going on. I just threw them in a bag, but that should be okay. They look to have dried pretty good. Okay, those are fine. This one has 3, but I'm gonna leave it together. And they're starting to get a little bit of mold on the top, so that's good that I am doing this now. So alright guys, all these little ones here are okay. I'm okay. I guess it's okay if they have some extra roots in them. Those are all going to be planted in the plot. Oh, just look at this one. It has a bunch of super tiny babies. So they're all very small. It's hard to focus. Sorry, let me see. Super tiny babies in here, but I'll leave them all together. This one is very small. I don't even know if the super small ones will sprout, but I guess we'll see. They will look a bit bigger once they are hydrated once they have been soaked in water. So I think those smaller ones are more like mostly salmon color from a mix that I got, salmon and orange. The bigger ones were already came a little big. They were like a pink and white mix. So these salmon ones did not grow very much in one season, but I did not care for them super properly because I didn't really know what they needed. It was my first year growing. So hopefully they'll do better this year. Also, the ones in the plot seem to do a lot better than mine here in the backyard. So I'm not planting them in the backyard this time. They are going to go in the plot because the plot is a bit cooler actually. Ranunculus do not like too much sun and too much heat, and for us here it gets hot quite fast. It's cold for a while, but then once he gets to April, May, June, can get hot quite fast. So they tend to struggle, at least mine struggled here. But the plot is a bit on the north side, so it gets shaded in the afternoon. So I think the ranunculus really appreciated that. I'm gonna divide this. Oh, I shouldn't have. They're so tiny. Okay. So that's why I'm planting all of them in the plot. Plus I have a lot more space there. And I will talk more about garden planting in a different video, but most of my raised bed here will be dedicated to dahlias. This one is a really big clump. Interesting. Let me get the camera a little closer to show you guys this. Look at that. It looks like there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Maybe, no, this is not 6. 5 of them together. Hopefully you guys can see me separating this doesn't get blurry. Oh, but that's cool. They will multiply with time. That's a good thing about saving your corms if you can. So you can always have more the other seasons. I couldn't have waited longer, I think. So they could have gotten bigger. And then they could have more time to get some nutrients. But I needed the space at the garden at that time. So I ended up digging them up. But it's okay. Now this year I'll try to do better. These ones look very nice. Let me take out these tops, cut some of these rootlets out too. When I bought this last year, they look pretty clean. I didn't remember seeing so many of these roots outside, so they do a good job cleaning them. I'm gonna separate this. Let's try. Oh, I broke the. Oh, let's see. Hopefully it's okay. Awesome. Okay, well, those are very. I thought they were bigger. They're not much bigger. From what I'm seeing, they just didn't clean them very well, so I'm gonna separate those but keep it together. This is a good size, I think. Let's see how big it's going to get once I soak them. I'll cut out some of these roots too. I hope it's okay. Oops, there was another one. Okay, little one. Look at this guy. This has lots of, looks like there's lots of corms in here. Let me break off this. Oh, this is easy to break. It's just a huge clump. Alright, let's see if I can divide. You can see the tops in here with this little white. Hopefully it's not mold. Maybe I'll divide from the back. Let's see. Try to break it out like this. There's like 4 in here, but I'm afraid to. Okay, that's not too bad. So this is 2. And then, but those are not too big. I really wish each corm was bigger, but oh well. And there's 3 in here. Maybe I'll just leave those together. Or not. Let's try to do 2. I think it's 4 actually. I'm afraid to break their, yeah, see, I'm already breaking some. It's alright, they're gonna grow all together. Hopefully that's not bad for them. This one looks very nice. Look at that. Looks easy. Hopefully it's easy to separate. A little bit of the top. It's not. It's pretty hard. Okay, definitely broke some of it, but not as smooth as I thought. Hopefully it's still going to be okay. I'm going to take out this. Just cut the top. Okay, it looks really good. I'm going to keep this all together. It has more than one stem, but this is probably the biggest one. Oh, this one's pretty big too, but I broke in half. And there's tons of little ones in this one that I might just break in half too. Oh, this one just came out easily. Okay, and they'll keep those straight together. Let's just fruits. Alright, anything else in here? No. So here is what we ended up with. Now we are going to soak them. I'm gonna use this water over here and just throw all of this inside. I could dump it, but I'm just gonna carry over because I have all this chaff in here. So just put them all in. Now I'm just going to give it a little shake because you know those are a little bit dirty. Maybe I'll even switch the water. I should probably wash them out a bit here. I'll dump this outside and then maybe give them some fresh water because yeah, look how much dirt I'm getting here from... I don't really think I rinsed them last year, not like this. I rinsed with the hose, took the dirt out that way, but they still have a lot. Wow, a lot more than I expected. How dirty those guys are. Okay, so let me just try to clean as much as I can here, then I will switch the water. Alright, to change the water now. It's looking a lot better. Let me see. There's some of them that are floating. I am not sure if that's a good thing. There's still some bits and pieces in there, but it's a lot nicer than it was before. So here how it looks. A couple of them are floating, these two guys. Maybe they're not viable anymore. But everybody else there is looking nice and good. So they will stay here for 3 to 4 hours. And then I'm gonna come when I remember and kind of just mix the water like this. Just to add some extra oxygen. Make sure that they get some air in there too. So I didn't do that last year, but I've read in a few places that it's good to do that to keep the water moving. So I'll do this year for precaution, but we'll check and see how they're looking in 3 hours. Okay, it's been 3 hours. You know, corms are looking really good. They're ready to be put in soil. See the difference now, how plump it looks right now. So I'm just going to add some soil to this same tray that I cleaned. I should have pre-moistened this, but it's okay. I'll just spray with the spray bottle. Spray some water on top. So first I'm gonna add soil halfway, add the corns, and then cover with soil again. And this soil I don't need to sift it. If you watched my last video you saw that I sifted for the seedlings, but because the corms are so big, these big pieces of the potting soil are fine. So I'll just mist a bit, then I'm going to water better after I place them all in. I don't want it to be too wet because I don't want them to rot, but it should be lightly moistened. Okay, now I'm just going to start placing the corms right on top of the soil. I'm going to put them all together. So some are very big, some are smaller. But I'm going to put maybe 4. This is a bigger one. So let's see if I can fit. Maybe gotta be a bit closer. I don't want to do 2 trays. I just want to do 1 tray. So hopefully this will be enough space. See how much bigger they look? Now it's easier to see how also to separate. And then maybe, yeah, it's much easier to separate after soaked, you guys. Now I know. This one's a coming off part too. Maybe because these are very little, put them together there. Put it in here. And this is, they are going to be here for a few weeks. And then I'll transfer them to the garden once they start putting their shoots up. So I'm just going to repeat the process and put them in the soil until this is all complete. I could use that water to water here, but I think I want to use fresh water. And I'll put that in the garden. Oops. Alright, now we're just going to cover the whole thing with soil. I think that's good. I don't want to put too much, but I want to just make sure that they are covered. There we go. And a little bit more on this side. Okay, looking pretty good. So I think maybe I'm going to just spray this instead of watering. I don't have my watering can right now inside, and I think this should be enough for now. The soil doesn't feel too dry. There's a little dump in there in that bag. I can see that some corms got exposed in here, so I'm just gonna add a little bit more soil in this area. Oops, I got my table dirty. And that's it. I'm going to label this and take them downstairs. On my grow rack, they don't have to go on lights right now. They can go right above the lights until they start sprouting. I have a humidity dome down there, so once I go put the dome on, I'll keep checking because I don't want them to rot. So if I see any mold or anything forming on the top, I'll take the humidity dome off. But you have to keep them a little warmer because my basement's actually very dry and cold. So they might take a little bit longer to germinate, but we'll keep an eye on it. So just going to make a label for it right now so we know the day that I started those, and I'm gonna put them downstairs. And that's it for today. Thank you so much for watching. I'll keep you guys updated on the progress, and I'll see you next time.